Alright, how's it going, guys? How's it going? How's everything? You guys doing alright? Getting set up here. Give me a second. Oh, right. I gotta start this other Dude, I actually didn't know that, like, this is how it worked, but there's just so much stuff that has to be set up for stream nowadays. It's kind of crazy, kind of fucking wild. Like, I think I may need to get, like, I wonder if it would be possible to set up, like, what would it even be? It would have to be like a what's the word for it? Like an entire container within my computer, like within my PC, just for all my streaming program. I wonder if that's possible. Or there is that, like, I don't know, because here's the thing you gotta understand, right? My monitor setup is kind of crazy right now, and yet I still feel like I don't have enough space. All right, let me move all this stuff. Get my tablet in here. I think I got everything. I think we're all set up. Turn the light off. Switch to there. And then we switch to there. All right, I think everything's working. I think it's working. I'm actually so I experimented with streaming to YouTube last time and it did not go well. And we're experimenting with doing it in vertical format this time, so we'll see how it goes. I think it was definitely the music that got flagged, which is a problem because YouTube's like music flagging is very aggressive. And like I was actually talking about this. It's kind of wild how, like, Twitch has a solution for it, but YouTube is like, nah. You just lose your stream. You just lose your channel. So, I don't know. We'll see what becomes of that. Anyway, this is weird. Why does it do this? Very, very confusing. I don't know why YouTube does what it does. Okay, so, also, that's also set up incorrectly, but okay, it's fine. It's fine. So last stream I drew this guy, which, you know, go up to this. Last stream I drew this guy, and then I started working yesterday on some variant heads. I was originally just gonna do variants on the whole body, but I feel like there's really not much I want to do there. Like, it should be fine. I will say, as far as this goes right now, I don't know. The definitely this is leaning, the original is leaning towards what they were asking for, but something about it to me is just, I don't know. It's not like I don't love the silhouette of it. I want to do something a bit more traditional. I want to do with the deer skull and stuff like that. So we're gonna try some different designs. We're gonna work out some stuff. Yeah, that was what they asked for. Um, Not my favorite, but you know, I guess we'll roll with it. We'll do what we got to do. Um, so yeah, we're gonna try some other stuff. Don't quite know what. I haven't really decided what I want to try to give it some more of that like horror feel. I think I have some ideas, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I do like that. I do like the horns on that though. I'm like appropriating a couple different ideas. Not that. So what's up, guys? How's your week going? You guys doing all right? Drawing is cool. I'm down with drawing. That's always cool. Right. Do somehow. So. Let's try this. Come on, dude. Do I have a deer skull I can just raise? Let me see. Or maybe moose. Maybe a moose skull would be cool. I don't know. Is the moose skull cool? They're probably the same, right? A moose skull is probably, yeah, pretty much the same as a as a deer skull. We're pretty much the same. I will say. Oh. Yeah, like we'll do that. I do like the only thing that I like, well, not the only thing, but one of the only things I like about Windows 11 is the native, what's called the native screenshot thing, where it like, what's called, it just lets you take like sections of a screen. Like I appreciate that. That's very cool. That's that way I don't have to like, I don't have to take a screenshot of my entire fucking desktop just to like, you know, drop something into my canvas. Which I think was that already was a feature in Windows. Like you could just do like was it like window, like the window key, I think, and print screen or something, or like window key P or something like that. But they moved it, I guess, natively to the print screen key. Oh, bridges. All right. That's so good. But yeah, as far as I don't know, as far as I'm going concerned, as far as my days, nothing's really new. You know, pretty much the same as always. We played Pathfinder yesterday. You know, we got a chance to play, which is cool. I'm still hoping that the player who had to kind of bow out gets a chance to come back, because you know it's always a shame when you know you gotta lose player to life stuff, but I hope he comes back in the future. Otherwise, you know, trucking along. Okay, so I had an idea here, and I don't know how it's going to manifest, but we'll see. Did you guys see the, I guess, what happened or what came out with the release of like Call of Duty? Because apparently that's a fucking shit show and a half. So I guess probably the logical end point of corporate video game slop, as it were, you know, where it was always destined to end up, you know what I mean? So, what do we do with the horns? That's a good question. For the antlers, I suppose. Horns, antlers, same thing. What do we do with them? Well, we should probably do moose antlers because this guy's got a moose skull. Oh, now it's working. Now it's working. Okay, I see how it is. Gonna fade them out because I don't want to. Up there, just because why not? Why not? Who's gonna stop me? Maybe we'll get some Discord company. maybe where would be a good place to start? So that's there. Okay, so I guess we kind of have to. This is the stuff that we don't really need any of this. But this is a little bit, definitely a little bit too far forward. So let's take all this. Gifted. Poster. This sort of arched neck. I don't know if we're still doing this, so let's get rid of this. Ah, my foot's so itchy. So, I guess a minor update on the little game project that I made for the stream. So despite having very limited access to sprites, I haven't basically really talked to or connected with anyone to actually do any additional sprite work for the game. So it kind of just is going to exist in the state that it is now. But what I did do was I did go ahead and add a few more enemies into it. And so what that means is that, like, I still, like, I don't know, I don't have access to a ton of them, but I do have some more enemies that got added recently, this week, I think. And I built a system for adding them too, so that they can they can just cleanly go into the list, and now they're just in the progression. I did have a system that was, and it because originally we had hard coded the goblin enemy into the game, meaning there was no other enemy, so I just did all my code based on that one. And so one of the things that I did to make it so that there were more than just the one little goblin was I used hue variation to make different colors of them, which works for that. But because the hue variation like it works based on like taking where the starting color is and then shifting the position on the color wheel to change it to a different color, it only works for green. So every other monster, it came out the wrong when I kept the system, but every other monster came out the wrong way. So they exist, but it'll say, like, I think, like, if you try it, you'll get like a skeleton, and I think the skeleton comes out pink or whatever. That'll get fixed. I'll have to fix that at some point. It's not super high on the list right now, but it will be something that I want to fix. I don't know how I'm gonna fix it, but we'll figure out some CSS trick to do it. But I believe all of the enemies, I haven't tested many of them. No. And honestly, you might not be able to test many of them because I don't think right now character HP scaling works. However, I will be working. There is a system that I built that is not in place yet, and I'm going to tell you guys this because I want your feedback on it. I want you to tell me what you guys think. So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a system by which there could be like loot drops in this game. Because my plan, by the way, is I'm gonna have so instead of just having the little these little guys here, instead of just having these little guys living down here on the screen, the plan is that there will be a like a little extension, so like a button that sits on top of the Twitch video, that every person can access their own character, and it'll give you an inventory screen and a little like MMO style paper doll that you can access, so you can just change your own equipment and get loot and stuff like that. So in order to do that, I need loot to be in the system. I need to make items, put them in the game. So I'm doing that, right? And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so this is supposed to be a party game, right? It's supposed to be like an idle, but also a party-based RPG. And one of the things that I was thinking about was like, okay, so if that's the case, then how do we make like loot in this game in a way that is like fun for those who engage with it? And here's what I came up with. I can't show you the system because it's not implemented, but when and I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be on every boss or like a random chance on bosses or something like that, but when players are doing an adventure and items come up, what's going to happen is you're going to kill the enemy, the item is going to pop up, right? It's going to be it's the icon of it is going to be there, and then everyone who's in the adventuring party will roll, and it's gonna do a little slot machine style like random generator above your head, and it's gonna roll just like if you were in like World of Warcraft in a dungeon rolling on a piece of loot, and the person who has the highest roll is gonna get it. And so it's gonna that's just how it's gonna go. And I know the whole point of that is that I want it to create conflict. Anyway, that's what I'm doing in my free time. For you, I'm doing it for you. Oh yeah, this one needs to work on this one. Right at the. Oh, that was where. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna add maybe some more skills to it, you know? Like a whole chain of them. You know, some people really like drawing like dragons and stuff. I mean, everyone likes drawing different things, obviously, but some people are really specifically into drawing like horns and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why. My brain just doesn't like it. My brain just doesn't like drawing horns. I don't know why. Too repetitive, too tedious. I have no idea why. Let's get rid of this as well. We're gonna be putting another goal right there. Or maybe exactly right here. Maybe more. Maybe more like that. You know what? Let's we'll do a variant. Alright, still wanted to do one more for this guy. I don't quite know what. I think, you know what? I do kind of know what I think. I think we're gonna scrap all of this. Okay. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Heretical? How's it going? Sorry to hear that. Hello, hello. How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. You know what? Yeah, no, I don't like this. There are some things about it I like, but overall, I don't think I do. However, was something I wanted to. Avoiding doing things. That's not good. Right, so. Have to. Do a new one. But I think this time I'm gonna actually get rid of some of this. Because I actually just want the torso. I don't want the face. So I just want the torso. Maybe we'll move this whole thing down so I have some space to work. This one is going to be a little bit more tree-like. The others. And my idea here. But maybe, you know what? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a nice weekend so far. Appreciate you hanging out with me, you know? You know? I'm looking for some kind of reference here. Guys, when I tell you that every time when I tell you that every time I go on Pinterest to look for something, somehow Ramek is already there. Somehow he's already in my feed. Don't know. Don't know why it is. Every time I search for something, he's already there. It's a problem. I can't go anywhere. Can't go anywhere without seeing his stupid fucking artwork. That's a joke, obviously. He and I are good friends. Obviously, I'm kidding. Alright, I'll just reference this. This will be fine. This will be fine, I think. It'll do what I need it to do. Okay. So the top of the head would have been kind of here. It's the been kind of a long time since I did any like serious horror drawing. So I'm definitely to be honest, I don't think I was ever really great at it. But I always kind of liked doing it. Like it was always a little bit fun to draw like just gross stuff. But I haven't done it. I haven't done that stuff in a long while. I don't think I was ever really good at it per se. I don't know if there's a proper way to convey what I'm trying to. I mean, there probably is, but like I don't know if I'm properly getting across the idea that I'm trying to portray here. This is definitely something that would have been that's easier to do with color. Okay, we're gonna do our best. It definitely is not. I think this is definitely gonna be a little like even this, honestly, I think this stuff is a little more much for like a TTRPG book cover, but it's what they requested, you know? So it's like it this is a lot more than I would definitely draw or definitely paint for like a fantasy, you know, tabletop game supplement cover. I just wanted to do. I was just gonna do a like what's it called? I wanted to do just a normal Wendigo. You know, that was my initial idea. I was just gonna do, you know, normal the normal like deer skull kind of gangly, you know, kind of monster. But their brief was all about. In fact, I can even read it for you. Hold on, let me find it. Let's see. This does it? I mean, yeah. Well, oh yeah, yeah. Like for sure, it's definitely. I mean, there's definitely elements of that. So let's see. Death of the mallet. Yeah, but that's you know, whatever. I feel the same way when people talk about Cthulhu. So like their visual guide or their brief says, 9 to 12 feet tall, skull partially human, stretched and warped, jagged antlers, like tree branches, not uniform, wide unhinged jaw with sharp teeth, and human remnants. So like they want like shreds of like clothing, which I didn't really do, but basically they want it to be like very like horror. They're specifically horror first. Like they want it to be all about the horror aspect. And so I'm kind of trying to incorporate some, you know, I'm trying to lean into that a lot more. Neither do I, honestly. You know, but that's the thing, is like it's not my project, not my issue. Just I'm I'm just the hired pen, you know? I mean, there's the thing is, right? Like fantasy, especially like tabletops and stuff, is kind of all about appropriating and then, you know, like just altering and changing what the core concepts of like mythology and just reusing them for whatever you want. Like, no, I obviously I'm not taking it as criticism. That's I'm well aware. I'm not. I know you're not criticizing. It is what it is, right? There is like there is a place for there's certainly a place for you know, real mythology, right? Real, and like, though here's the thing, and maybe this is me, and maybe this is just the way I view it, right? I don't particularly, and I never really have seen the concept of like monster mythology or whatever as like this sacred thing, you know? It's like, because at, like, all of that stuff, all of, at least as far as I see it, all of the stuff about like having to take mythology and stuff and legend and all that seriously is entirely, like, that's an entirely modernist conception. Right? And like, because, you know, they, like, people act as if things like, whether it be the story about like the Wendigo or, you know, a fucking chupacabra, or I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to bring up, like, people tend to act like these are somehow like culturally sacred, and it's like, bro, they're just bedtime stories, right? Like, they're just stories to tell her that, you know, to scare kids around a campfire. They're not like deeply embedded religious tenets, you know? This isn't like, it's not like you're mocking someone's like you know, like long-standing religion, core religion, right? Like, I don't buy that. That's nonsense to me. um right, like, but even then, you know, I don't like, I don't believe, and obviously I haven't done a poll on this, right? But I would hazard a guess that that regardless of what you know, of what culture you're referring to, you know, if you went to a if you went to a member of a given culture and you said, hey, like, what's uh what's your opinion on, I don't know, people like using like this fucking this story about this monster that is tangentially related to the country slash culture you grew up in, and what they're probably gonna say is, bro, I don't give a who cares, like, who gives a shit? it, it's not like they like you're dealing with copyright law, like, it's like there's stories. The whole point of mythology and of stories is that they're oral traditions, like that someone invented them a long time ago, and they were told and retold and passed down, and someone heard it and decided to tell it around a campfire to someone else, and then all of a sudden someone, okay, now they went somewhere else and they brought this story with them and they thought it was really cool, and so they told it to some, like, these things are not intellectual properties, right? They're not some deeply held, like, core value. They're just stories, and anyone and everyone throughout history has heard a story somewhere, thought it was cool or scary or whatever, and told it to someone else. And in that, they most likely changed it. They most likely they forgot details, they got stuff wrong, whatever. They say, oh, I liked it better this way, or maybe they changed it so it was more relevant to their group of people or whatever. Like, it's all the same. Like, no one knows where any of this stuff came from, and it doesn't matter. Which is, I think, part of it is for sure, for sure tied in, like, at least part of this weird insistence on, like, cultural reverence, or whatever you want to call it. To me, it comes from the same place as people who, like, will often talk about cultures in the past as if they were somehow different in how they interacted with the world or with other people than we are now, and we do now. And it's like, bro, no, like, the people in the past were not, like, they were not like, what's the best word for way to say this, like, they were not innocent doves who, like, all just got along and sat around a campfire. Like, no, people were horrible to each other, right, for no reason. And no one in the past viewed their culture at, like, or the cultures around them as static or particularly sacred, because things changed all the time. Like, everything was constantly changing. Wish more people used my country's myths. Like, well, I mean, like, there's like, I don't know, I don't particularly know any of them, right? But, like, I don't even know what those are. Like, if there's a boar man, like, or a fucking magical boar that beats the shit out of people, that's cool. That's kind of just a normal boar, though. That's just what they do. Like, if you've ever met a wild boar or a wild pig, that's just how they behave. They just fuck shit up for no reason. there's yeah, I mean, like, and here, like, here's the thing. There's when it comes to tabletops, I'm sure there is stuff for everyone, right? I don't particularly know all of them, but I know there are a couple of good. Well, I don't want to call them good because I've never actually played them, but there are a couple of tabletop systems and worlds that are very much dedicated to like Japanese mythology and folklore. There are a couple of them that, like, I'm sure there are like Native American folklore tabletop settings. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that there's something that's been, someone has certainly written it, right? I feel like people should be forced to read about the horrifying shit people did. Oh yeah. Like the especially when it comes to, like, again, there's this myth, there's this often this myth that we carry as like a trope in our modern culture. It's called the noble savage, and it's this idea that, like, we as modern people are so different, and, like, the people in the past were, yes, they were more primitive technologically, but they were more honorable, and they were, they all had codes of, like, morals and I'm not gonna do, or I'm gonna be the bigger person. It's like, bro, absolutely the fuck not. That is not true. Like, Native American tribes used to murder and scalp each other for fun. Like, they would, like, they wiped each other out. In Mesoamerica, in Central America, they what's called the Aztec people. The Aztec people were literally, like, their neighbors went to war with them to try and get them to stop sacrificing so many people. Like, they had wars because they were like, bro, you're building monuments made of human skulls. Please stop this. It didn't work, by the way. Like, shit was crazy, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is, like, they sacrificed so many people that their neighbors were like, all right, we are not, and their neighbors actually tried to go to war with them, but they just didn't have enough. They just didn't have the manpower to do it. And then the Spanish arrived, and all of a sudden they all teamed up and fucking leveled the Aztec cities. Well, I mean, we, like, yes and no. Like, there, like, certainly a lot of things are written by, like, after the fact, but, like, we know that the Aztecs did a lot of sacrifice, like, way too much human sacrifice, because they wrote about it. Like, they literally wrote that, like, about the fact that they would constantly be at war just to like have enough like captives that they could sacrifice. Like, they wrote about the fact that they started sacrificing children, like, by the thousands. Like, all of this stuff, they were the ones who wrote it because they thought that they were doing good, right? Like they thought that this was that, like, according to them, they believed that it was the way that, you know, the way to go. And it was the people around them who were like, yo, like, you gotta stop this. So like, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely, you know, there's definitely some gray in the sense that we, you know, we're not quite sure, but like of certain things. But there's that, like, the thing that's sort of the thing about that particular region is they wrote all this stuff down, or as best they could, I guess. They wrote all this down. But I mean, but that's also not necessarily like, that's not necessarily particularly, I mean, it the that particular aspect of it definitely is, you know, it definitely is sensationalized. Like it people remember it because of how sensational it is, but it also is, I don't want to say on par, but definitely not out of the, like, it's not out of the realm of like possibility when it comes to what other cultures have done, again, just to each other for no reason, by the way. Like, and we're not, like, I'm not saying we're different. In fact, I would hazard to say that, like, you know, in modern times we're not particularly better off, it, like, because I think we sometimes err too much in the opposite direction. Not in the opposite direction of sacrificing people, but I mean, we err too much in the opposite direction of, like, just, like, I'm, you know, obviously not, oh, you know, we probably should have kept the sacrifices going. Like, that's no, wait, no, you know what, that's my stance. Okay, guys, that's my, I'm gonna be running for office, and my position is, the human sacrifices will resume. We're gonna get back to it. A lot of Chinese history. Well, oh yeah, I mean, so that's also like, uh there, like, there's definitely a lot of stuff that is, um not accurately captured in history, and the reason for that is because, uh when stuff sounds crazy on paper, it makes the people who won, it makes the victors sound more, what's called, it makes them sound more heroic, or more like it builds up their legend, right? If you come out, if you come out on top. But also, like, again, sometimes, like, when people were like when people were invading, they sometimes would, like, whether it was China or Japan or, you know, the Middle East or whatever, like, sometimes they just come in and burn an entire city to the ground. Like, they just sneak in and burn a fucking city and everyone in it. Like, those things did happen. I mean, have you guys ever read the book Blood Meridian? The answer is probably no, because like no one's read that book. But if you haven't, I highly suggest you do. It's yeah. So Blood Meridian is a story about the Wild West. Before, I guess, kind of just around the time of the Gold Rush, um, like the early parts of it, and Blood Meridian really doesn't. So okay, so here's the thing. By the way, I should prepare you if you ever plan on reading it. Blood Meridian. Two things you have to understand about Blood Meridian. One, the book doesn't actually have a plot at all. It not even close. And two, Cormac McCarthy does not use any punctuation in the book. Like, the only punctuation that he uses are periods to end sentences, and that's it. He doesn't use quotation marks. He doesn't use commas. None of it. It's not a recount. It's not a real story. No, it's not a retelling of any specific event, but it's more like it doesn't have a plot because the story is not going anywhere. It's like the way that Blood Meridian works is it's basically right. Well, yeah, okay. It's written a little bit like a third-person memoir, kind of, because the story is about a character named the Kid. He doesn't have a name. He's only referred to the entire story as the Kid. And it does tell a story of how he is young and how he grows up and how he eventually joins up with this gang that is run by the character named the Judge, right? And after that happens, pretty much the entire middle of the novel is just like, it's just stuff happening, right? Like, it's just normal things that happen, and very little of it is consequential in any real way. Like, that's the whole point of the story, I think, is not really to be, it's not meant to be dramatic. It's meant to be a sort of a somber portrayal of what life was like, fictionally told, but what life was like for these people. And so the book is basically just a lot of things that happen. None of them are particularly crazy or he doesn't get into any like dramatic gunfights, and there's no like high stakes or like building tension or anything like that. It's just that like they just go places and they just do horrible things to people. But all that aside, so the reason I brought it up is because what's it called? One of the things that the whole things that about Blood Meridian, or for us, basically the one of the themes running through the book is that in the West there were settlers, and the settlers were being attacked by Native Americans, right? So this was happening all throughout, like as the Gold Rush people and the settlers and stuff were pushing westward, they would come under attack by different Native American tribes. And so the US government, through various towns around the area, started offering a bounty for the scalps of Native Americans. Yeah. And that's a thing that's like a part of the thing that's running through the book, and a good chunk of the story of Blood Meridian involves the gang going out and just killing Native Americans and scalping them. But also, you have to understand, also at the same time, there are like people from Mexico are also up in the, because the United States and Mexico are kind of blurred. Like there's no real boundary between them. It's very blurry. And so in the gang there are Mexicans. There are people that are up from Mexico. And the reason I bring it up not really to talk about the story, but like there's this one particular event, and I don't remember the exact event, but where they get into some kind of gunfight, a bunch of people die. And two of the people that die are these two Mexicans that are in the gang, right? And the gang, like after the gunfight, they're scalping these Native Americans, and they're, they kind of like, oh, what's his name and I don't remember the two names, but they're like, what's his name and what's his name are dead. And then the book just says, yeah, but their skin is kind of dark and their hair is black, so they look like Native Americans. And so they just scalped them and sold their scalps alongside them, because who's gonna tell the difference? That's just one, like, part of what, that's just what happens. That's just part of the book. But yeah, it was weird. Stuff was weird. Still, I suggest reading it. It's a tough book to get through, but I think probably worth it. Anyway, let's talk about something else, something more interesting than that. So what's going on with you guys? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Do 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 do. Got mechs going. I don't know what either of those things are, but sounds cool. That actually reminds me, I never played, you know what I never played? I never played the FromSoft Armored Core. I always wondered if I should. Never got around to it. Oh, drawing mechs and isometric maps. Okay, though you were playing, you were talking about a game. I'm like, I don't know what game that is. I never got around to playing Armored Core. And I also never got around to playing the Liza P DLC. also, and I say this even though I know I'm never actually gonna do it on stream, but um, now that well, I don't, nothing about it is, nothing about my setup is different per se. I mean, I have the new computer, but that's not any better or worse than it was before. But I think I'm gonna really work on my retro and sort of emulation setup now. I wanna put some time into getting that fully set up. I kind of I downloaded all this stuff and then I just ignored it. Other things took precedent, you know. All right. What do we think, guys? Are we cooking or not? Are we cooking, or are we just kind of spinning our tires here? I don't really know. I think this is probably enough, like, just base sketches, just like unrefined sketches to be sending. to the client and seeing if they want to do anything with it or if they want to go forward on any of them. Do you ever do any architecture stuff? Um, uh, you mean like do I ever draw just buildings like out of context? Also, article. Sorry, I didn't even notice you had the. I wasn't looking because I don't see the redeems right now. For some reason, they don't show up my activity thing. Ugh. I don't have any water. I gotta go get some. I gotta go get some water. So the answer is no. If that's your question, I don't really do any like architectural stuff is not really my thing. I mean, I do as part of compositions, right? So like, let me see. So like, if I like why is this not open with Photoshop default? Open with Photoshop. So like when I'm doing something like this, like I will do architectural stuff. Like as part of a composition, I have to deal with buildings and structure and all that. But um just by itself, no, not really. Um I don't know. What you need reference for is that I don't know. I mean, if like it depends what you're looking on reference for. I might be able to help, but I don't know. What's the whole composition gonna be? So that I don't know 100% yet. We did so let me. So I did two drawings, which these are the ones like I did a bunch of them last stream, but um I think something like this is how I had envisioned the composition to be. Um, because what they wanted is they wanted they wanted George Washington. Don't ask me why. Fighting like with a Wendigo, kind of jumping out of the fog. Um, so I did some different designs for that. And they wanted like I didn't. They're not in here, but like tents and like a camp and people like soldiers and stuff in the background. So probably leaning towards one of these things, but I may tweak them. Like once I still have to get approvals on these, and so I have to actually send them to the client and see if they like this stuff. And if they do, then that's I'm gonna go forward with them. But if they say, no, we want to try something different, then I'm gonna do more sketches. So. All right, I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. All right, I'm back. I had to get some water. I was looking for some food, but I don't think I have any, so I gotta make some later. All right. All right. All right. Back to it. I don't know. So, all right. I think I'm gonna hold on these for now, and I'm just gonna work on. Let's work on this for a little while. Refs document open. Oop. Okay, that's where we are. Do 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 do. Okay, so we were gonna underlight with this. You guys hanging out, by the way. Appreciate you being here. You're having a nice Saturday. Everything's going well for you. Oh, I forgot to take off my BRB. There we go. There we go. You guys still hanging out with me, by the way? I appreciate you being here. I know it's, you know. Super active or whatever, you know, when I'm kind of trying to get lost in the work, but I appreciate you hanging out either way. I tell you what, like, I don't know, I've talked about this. I've talked about this with someone after last stream. We hung out in Discord a little bit and chatted about it, and it's like I kind of vacillate between whether I particularly care about, you know, stream performance or not. I don't know, like I have, like, I want to say it doesn't matter to me, but for sure, like, there is an aspect of it that that definitely does, right? And you know, I like when it does well. I like when, you know, people are hanging out and are entertained and I can chat with them and stuff like that. But I get that in order for that to be the case, I need to put in a lot more work than I say probably, but that I am willing to really do on my end. And so I kind of have to, you know, I have to kind of accept that there is an upper limit to what's possible there. I need to stretch. Oh well. very weird. I don't know why that's doing that. All right, I'm gonna probably go until about 8, and then I think I'm gonna call it a stream because I am starving. I need food. I need food. All right, we're coming up on 8 o'clock. I think I'm gonna put a pin in it for today. Drop a save on that. So I have all of this stuff that I'm gonna go send off to the send off to my client, and if we get some approvals or if we get some adjustments, then we'll try some different things before we get ready to jump in on the composition stuff here. This is not really super urgent, so I'm going to be chipping away at this at the same time. But I think that's gonna be it. That's all I'm gonna do today. So I will see you guys on Monday. This was just a makeup stream because I missed Friday, so I will see you guys on Monday. I was mostly testing out the YouTube live streaming and music stuff, and it seemed that like they didn't take me down today. They didn't nuke my thing, so I don't know if vertical streaming worked. I tried vertical streaming to YouTube. I don't know per se if it worked. Who knows? Maybe we'll keep trying it, maybe we won't. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you on Monday. Have a fantastic evening.